Good morning, this is Dominic with TheBackVlog. Recently, I finished the Penguin Classics edition of 6 Yuan plays. This is really interesting, and it's an interesting portrait of ancient Chinese culture because this is around the time post-Mongolian Empire and the dynasty that came after, which I'm not historically literate enough to really go into the specifics of, but when the Mongolian Empire came, obviously a lot of, people were killed, and it was a bad time for many countries because the conquest was bloodshed to the max. And it's really interesting the kind of silver lining that came with it in ancient China, because with the Mongolian Empire came the abolishment of Confucianism. And it allowed for more religious freedom. And because of that, in turn, the entertainment industry flourished because they didn't really have to censor themselves like they had to before. And it was really interesting because it's like, once the censorship is out of the way and artists can do whatever they want to, they start to write what they couldn't before. So it was like, despite the conquest and the ruthlessness of the Mongolian Empire, what came from it was like a renaissance in Chinese theater, which was really interesting. The plays in here, I think they vary. I have a few that I really, really like, and I have like one or two that I thought was kind of whack. But you have tales of revenge in here. You have like love triangles, you have mythology, just all, like every single one of them has a really interesting aspect going on. And I don't know if it's like a translation thing or what, but the way that it's written is also kind of comedic, just because of the really matter-of-fact way that a lot of the action is written. You have like a lot of characters reiterating things to the point where it is like funny. And I don't know if that's intentional or not. But another thing that I noticed about reading this is that there wasn't really much stage direction either. So I don't know if, I don't know how these plays would have been directed centuries ago. But there's a lot of implied direction in the dialogue of these plays. I think, I don't really have much else to say about them. Some of these I think would make a great film, honestly. Specifically, which one? The Orphan of Chow. I heavily recommend reading The Orphan of Chow. That's probably my favorite out of all of these. That's like a good revenge story, multi-generational revenge story. It has like the plays have these things called wedges, which are basically context surrounding the events that are about to proceed in the play. And the wedge of The Orphan of Chow is so rich in story. Like just the wedge by itself is like really intriguing. And it's like, where's the play itself actually gonna go? And whenever you see how the play like concludes the story in the wedge, it's like really like well done. Chang Boyle's The Sea is also a really interesting mythological play. It was killing me when I was reading it because I've definitely heard this before, and when I was looking it up on Google, I would look up actually I don't use Google, on DuckDuckGo, I use that. I was trying to find out why I was familiar with this legend already, and the only thing that came up was the play itself. So I don't know if I like heard it in like a YouTube video or if it was alluded to in like a film that I watched or whatever, but it's killing me that I don't know what I knew it from. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I'm not really well equipped to talk about ancient Chinese theater, but perhaps now that I have these 6 Yuan plays under my belt, I am closer to being well equipped to talking about them. But yeah, The Orphan of Chow I think is really good, and I definitely recommend that one in particular. But yeah, With that being said, have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself.